This is Alma. Alma is 7 years old and lives in a small village in the desert of Iraq. She is very happy because her family has electric lights, a fan, and even a television which works. That's quite exceptional because Alma's village is the only one far and wide with electricity. Just outside of Alma's village is a large dumping ground where everyone brings their trash to burn. Once the smoke clears, dark brown pellets remain on the ground. Alma and the other village children collect them and bring them to the village teacher. He uses the pellets to generate electricity. No one knows how it works, but there's enough energy for everyone, and that's what's important to the villagers. In 1988, a team of engineers from the multinational oil company US Oiltron make a strange discovery during a routine check of Iraqi pipelines.
Hey! Look at this! Have you ever seen anything like this? Get this on film.
What is that? It's so cute. You take the camera.
Hey, don't touch it.
Why not? Come here, little guy. You're so cute. And all alone. Are you lost? There's nothing around here for you to eat. Just dirt. Let's take him with us, okay? He'll die if we don't help. Hello. My name is Sam Bold. And this here is my little friend, George. We'll name him after you, George. You found him.
On the way home, on board the Oiltron research ship, the engineer and hobby biologist Sam Bold cares for little George in his laboratory. In spite of Bold's best efforts, little George refuses to eat and grows visibly weaker. After 7 days on board the ship, George dies. Bold is distraught. Has he failed as a scientist?
Sam felt personally responsible for George's death. He was such a little creature, but I mean, for him, for Sam, he was something more. Something very, very special, if you know what I mean. Back home, Sam even went so far as to have an autopsy conducted. I don't know what it turned up. I never saw Sam Bold after that. Yeah.
The experts at the CFI Forensic Institute are initially at a loss.
It's an unknown species.
Maybe a mutation?
Distinct signs of malnutrition. Extremely swollen abdomen. Could be the cause of death.
What's that?
Let's see what our little friend ate that disagreed with him.
Little black pellets.
The pathologists begin to realize the significance of their discovery. The pellets in George's body show every indication of being a new, gigantic source of energy.
The result of the examination, I never learned what was found. All of a sudden, there were these officials there from the National Energy Commission. And they confiscated George. That is, George's corpse. Just like that.
At the Genomic Disorder and Toxicology Research Center in Richmond, Virginia, the pellets and the remains of George's body are examined under tight security conditions. The scientists soon discover they are dealing with a mutated Eublepharus macularius, an Iraqi desert gecko. Under the strong rays of the sun, This mutation makes it possible to transform carbon dioxide from oil refineries into a new form of energy. The potential of the excreted pellets is enormous. The scientists give the mutants a name: superior, transformed, organic, radical mutant, or STORM for short. They are convinced there are thousands of these storms, and thus a new unlimited source of energy in Iraq.
Back then, there was an enormous interest from all sides in this newly discovered raw material. The goal was to exploit it on a rather large scale for vast profit. My institute and myself were commissioned to develop a plant capable of transforming the tremendous potential of these mutant pellets into usable energy. That's how it was at the time.
On April 12, 1990, the conversion of one pellet into usable energy is successfully tested. For everyone involved, it was now certain the mass import of storms from Iraq is now a top priority.
It was insane, totally crazy. There wasn't even basic research done on this bioenergy supplier. That takes more time. But in view of this enormous profit, there was nothing to be done. They wanted those creatures now.
There is just one more question: how to get a 1,000-man U.S. Special Forces unit into Iraq to conduct the largest energy transfer in history without being noticed.
When Saddam declared war against Kuwait in 1990, we took advantage of the opportunity. We dropped large quantities of bombs on Iraq and let the oil fields burn. These animals ingest that stuff, smoke and fumes. Basically, that's what it was all about, feeding those storms unknown to the rest of the world. That was the mission.
The code word for the hunt and the secret feeding of the storms is Operation Storm Desert. But due to a slight oversight by a high-ranking officer with dyslexia, the world came to know the mission under the name Operation Desert Storm. The consequence of the operation is overwhelming. Some 1.7 million storms are shipped to the U.S. and arrive unscathed. At the same time, an alliance of Fortune 100 companies believe in the potential of the green gold. They invest in the production of the bioenergy and create the world's largest breeding grounds in the desert sands of Arizona. A breathtaking organization is put into operation.
America is addicted to oil, which is often imported from unstable parts of the world. The best way to break this addiction is through technology.
Hey there. Mike and Joy. Nice to meet you, sir. This area right here. Create a system, a 300-volt system, 300-volt is nominal, there's a hybrid here.
Satellite photos taken in November 2002 show that Iraq has also discovered the potential of its mutated desert geckos and builds numerous breeding sites. The U.S. quickly declares these breeding sites factories for the development of biological weapons of mass destruction. They take advantage of the resulting Third Gulf War to export the entire remaining population of storms to the United States.
I've always been confident that the U.S. would succeed in this breakthrough in energy policy. That's why we've never believed in the success of those queer, fuel-efficient automobiles. We need the emissions and the carbon dioxide. These animals live off them. The more emissions we produce, the more effectively we can invest in this new energy form. Now we really can turn into gold.
Thanks to the industrial exploitation of the storms, renewable energy becomes commercially successful. The groundwork is laid for a new age of energy, and the stock market enjoys a boom that seems it would never end, until the nightmare begins.
I've warned about excessive euphoria. These are not machines. You can't just expose them to light, carbon dioxide, and nutrients, and then have energy come out. Do you know what they died of? Homesickness. Homesickness can develop into a fatal malaise. And in this case, the imitation effect resulted in a true epidemic. And no one could stop that.
500 billion US war dollars, 150,000 tons of bombs, more than 200,000 civilians killed. And of the 2.7 million imported storms, not a single one survives. To this day, the American government has not recalled its troops from Iraq completely. Special units are still searching for storm colonies capable of fulfilling the dream of a never-ending source of energy. And Alma? Alma is very sad. There are no more pellets, and therefore no more electricity. Not for Alma, not for her family, not for the teacher, or anyone else in her village. She doesn't know why. Alma has never heard of storms.